let this word be to address myself, to come very clear and plain that people will receive it. Because it's so important to me as we, and men and women of God, how we can accept God and things that we're supposed to do and things that when we trying to find our way. We live in a time where we talked last week, how many people that believe in God, how many people that don't believe in God, even in church. So one of the things that brought my attention to this weekend, I wanted to be talking about, how it is so profound, and where we wind up, the places we go, things we do, how we carry ourselves. But it's one of the things that it brought me to this attention. What direction are you headed? What direction are you headed? And it's just so profound to me when I look at that. I realize that this is something, as we look at this world and places and all the things that's good and bad, and just as the truth will be told in the spiritual part of it, if I tell you right now, from where we are now, and I tell you, let's just go to Houston, and I say go north, everybody in here know going to Houston, you don't go north. But I tell everybody in here that if you headed in the wrong direction, and you're not depending on God in your life, you heading in the wrong direction. You going in the wrong direction if you're not depending. And it's just as simple as that. Because if we don't think about what God has for us and what we got going on in our lives and trusting God to do these things in our life, you're heading in the wrong direction. Where we wind up in eternity, where you wind up on the road that we go down, it causes all kind of conflict in our life. Sometimes we look at things that it sounds like it's good, it might look good, it might seem like it'll pan out. I was speaking about earlier, like even on my job, how it was easy for me to make it on my job, how it was being in charge of my job, having command of what I did in my job, but the things that I did, how I was able to manipulate it when nobody saying anything about it, but it wasn't right. How I was able to get it. Now that direction, it might look good. It might seem like I was doing okay, but I was going the wrong direction with God. That wasn't heading in the right direction. But I'm going to a point about this. And it brought me to this point in Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. I'm using NIV version. It said, enter the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the road, and it leads to destruction. And many enter through it. 14 said, but small is the gate and narrow is the road, and it leads to life, and only a few find it. See, that's where I'm going to start today talking about. See, one of the things that as we look at life, we look at the broad way. Broadway is anything that somebody tell us, anything that somebody shoot to you that sound good, that look good. If we think it go, we live in the world, we're talking about money. We're talking about how money rules the world. If somebody come to us and put the proposition of money in us, you're not going to think twice about it. You're going to think about where what you got to do. We talked about this last week. One of the things that we talked about, if I was going to ask somebody to go rob a bank, the first thing they worry about the police getting them. They wouldn't worry about God. You would worry about what the police going to do. But see, this life has been described as many different things, briefly, between the two different directions, the eternity And most of us look at life as a very short version of it. In other words, as my life now, as I get older, I start valuing it. It's more valuable now to me than it was when I was young. Now I worry about what direction I'm going. Now I worry about what position I'll take in life. Hey, I got to think about it more now. And then as you start getting older, you see more people begin to die in your age range. You start wondering about your direction. But start wondering about what you're going to do. Very important. We are surrounded by death from the day that we were born until the day you die. But how often do you think about it? Only when you get older. And sometimes you can be 60 and 70 years old and you move around and you think that you still going to live for that long. Because you know what? It tells us life is just like vapor. Like you'll put a mist in the air. Now you see it and now you don't. That's how fast life passes you up. Start getting old and see how everybody in here can say, you know what, man, look at my age. I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60. But it seemed like it was just yesterday. But yet and still we got to understand the direction we're taking. Should not be a surprise to us to understand that as we pass through this life and start seeing people, friends and people in this world, how that is. And it tells us in James 14, it tells us. Go ahead.
James 4:14. Yet you do not know the least thing about what may happen in your life tomorrow. What is secure in your life? You are merely a vapor, like a puff of smoke or a wisp of steam from a cooking pot that is visible for a little while and then vanishes into thin air.
This is what our life is worth. But yet and still, what we will start looking for, and why? Because of our society, we worry more about money than our life. Mm-hmm. We worry about what you're going to have or how much you're going to leave than you're going to worry about your life. God don't want us to do that. He don't want us to look at that. Since we are going to leave this world and someday soon, and what we all continue to enter the heaven and earth, you ought to be worried about whether you're going to heaven or whether you're going to hell. That should be our concern. Most of the time it's not. We don't worry about that. It's definitely just like what she said. It's so short. It's so, when you look at it and it leaves you, you begin to wonder yourself. You know what? You start pushing yourself. Well, I ain't accomplished this. I hadn't accomplished that. I need to get this. Look at what somebody else doing. Look at somebody else's plate. God didn't mean for me to look in your plate or you look at my plate. He mean me to look at me. Mm-hmm. And that's for every individual. Everybody needs to know where you going. Mm-hmm. I can't be with you all the time. I can't see you or what you got going on. You can't see me, but you got to worry about that. But what it tells us this, there are two possible directions in life. Which I said, it could be heaven or hell, but you have to understand, and this is one of the things that Jesus tells us, that there are only two possible ways. Many of them, in this day, it tells us that there are a path that people can travel through, and Jesus said we have a limit of how we should travel in this two way. One of the things I'm going to look at, Romans chapter 3, verses 4. Romans chapter 3. Amplified, you got that? Because I got it written here. You didn't put that down? Yeah, but I don't have to stay.
Romans 3 and 4. Certainly not. Let God be found true as he will be, though every person be found a liar, just as it is written in Scripture, that you may be justified in your words and prevail when you are judged by sinful men.
See, what they're saying, no matter what the world might say, we got to be saying what God might say. Somebody may tell you this and that and the third, but if it's not what God say, you can't count on it. One of the things that there's this what we can look at. There is what Jesus was saying. There's a narrow view, and I guess if I'll be corrected, however Jesus was trying to correct us, regardless of what we think, what man tell you, that's one thing, but what God tell you is the truth. And what he's trying to get us to understand, that is a broad way. That word means that if you're going to live a broad way, a broad life, everything that you're looking at in a broad life, you subjugate anything. If I come along and tell you, man, I got 5,000 acres out there of prime timber, and man, to go out there and get it, I say you write a bill out and give you that bill, turn you loose and look at all the property, I would be lying. Turn you loose on a piece of government property, and you done paid me, and you start cutting it. That's all game. And this is what kind of world we live in today. People will tell you anything. That's that broad way. That you're not taking no, you don't even care. You just looking at, as long as you can fill your pockets. You ain't even checked to see whether it was true. It sounded good. It looked good. It's something that you can just go. The idea that Jesus is trying to convey us that the broad way it's just so wide. You ain't got no control. You ain't got nothing. You just living from day to day, trying to find your way, but you still don't have no direction because you ain't trusting nobody but yourself.
All right.
Y'all follow me?
Amen.
Everything is likely. When you carry this, you carry a bag of sins around when you're doing that. Just what the word say. You just got, whatever happened, you looking for it. And this is not, when we come to the church, we look at things like this and say, why does this seem like if it's going to pick on me or just pulling me out? It's not to pull us out. It's to make us start thinking about, look where your life. One of the things when we start looking at the broad and narrow way of life, look at when you first started your life when you was a child. How was your life set up when you knew right from wrong? You knew right from wrong, but you chose, and I'm saying I chose to go the way I wanted to go. Never looked at God. Never thought about what his words say. But it's so easy to either listen to what mom say or listen to what somebody else say. And sometimes in this day and time, we all know our children don't listen to us. So if they not listening to us, they're not listening to God. And then we wonder why we can't keep up with them. We wonder why. But see, nobody told them to go to church like they used to tell us to go to church. You grow up a child and show a child the way to go. A child will learn how to go eventually. It might not happen, but if you start planting them in the right direction, they will start finding their way. This is what we have to understand. What direction are you headed? Good question for today. What direction are you headed right now? There's people that could be in their 60s and 70s and 80 years old and still headed in the wrong direction. Still hadn't thought about, hey, how am I living my life? And if you're not careful, you will wind up in hell, and hell is real. Hell is real. This is something that we walking through life. You can live a life to the fullest. Go where you want to do what you want to do. Act like you want to act. I mean, just live it up. And this living, I live like that. Get my paycheck and, hey, I'm living from payday to payday, life like I wanted, living fast and, hey, doing what I wanted to do. And nobody to tell me that is what a broad way is. Wide open. Nobody to tell you when you live in a life and you don't have somebody in your life to tell you, look, man, you're doing wrong. Look where you living. If you live a life on your own full of what you want to do, you live in a tore up life. Doing you. Doing what you want to do. It tells us, if we're going to live like this, there's always something on the side of a dark side to open our minds and to seek to maintain. There's a couple of things that we need to know when we decide to live like that. It tells us in John 8:44. If we going to live like this.
John 8:44 says, "You are of your father the devil, and it is your will to practice the desires which are characteristic of your father. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks what is natural to him, for he is a liar and the father of lies and half-truths.
Now, it don't take it don't take this a genius to understand. If you living like what I just described, like you want to live, doing what you want to do, you are a living of the father of the devil. It don't take a genius to look at that. It don't. And see, this is what happened to us. When we live like that, you are really out of control, really. When you living a life like you want to live, then think about it. You have no guidance. Nobody to tell you, hey, what's right, what's wrong. You don't really know. Then think about it. But you say you grown. You know right from wrong. But you ain't going to have no guidelines in your life. You just living like you want to live. And you know, a lot of people will say, man, I'm sure glad I ain't got nobody in my life. I can go home, close the door, do what I want to do, and make you feel good about that. Make you think that they living so good because they by themselves. Man, you better look out for somebody that's thinking they living by themselves out of control. What can they tell you? And they gonna tell you that it's so good. This is the way they living. Let's just go by what the God said about, not what man say, but what it tells us how this to do, how this there has been. We have to be careful when we search into history and seeing how all the people have lived this kind of life, live what they want to do. Look what Bonnie and Clyde wind up. They ran for a while. And I'm comparing that to whoever you want to look at, living wild, living on the wild side, doing what they want to do. Sooner or later, the wild will run out of you. Do bullet holes. And it'll pour out of you. It'll leave you sooner or later. It'll leave you. But you know what? People want to show you that this all good. That ain't the way to live. God offers a better alternative. God has a plan whereas we can follow him and enjoy life. See, this is what we understand. It is hard. Because if you're going to live like Wild Wild West and change your life from Wild Wild West and live like God, you got rules to go by then. I don't want to do that. That's just like saying walking out here looking at a stop sign saying you got to stop. Did you roll up in that stop sign or did you stop? See, and again, you observe the rule or you plan your way. Are you gonna go out there and do what you want to do, take what you want to take, do it as you say fit, or you gonna look at what his word say? This is what God said in John 14:27. If we want to go by what God got and live what God had, let's look at what he says.
John 14:27 says, "Peace I live with you. My perfect peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Do not let your heart be troubled, nor let it be afraid. Let my perfect peace calm you in every circumstance and give you courage and strength for every challenge."
Lord have mercy. Peace I leave with you. Do you realize when you allow God in your life, you're allowing peace in your life? Now let Joe Blow come tell you something. You ever have something so true you don't want to believe, but it look good, and you go along with it, and you'll play with it, you'll ride with it, and in the back of your mind say, when is this going to play out? There wasn't no peace in it. You were worried about it all the while with it, but you thought it was going to be good. Because somebody told you about it, but it was too good to be true. Anything too good to be true, it ain't worth messing with. This is what God said, offer. Look what he said in Philippians 4:6.
Philippians 4:6 says, "Do not be anxious or worried about anything, but in everything, every circumstance and situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, continue to make your specific requests known to God." Hallelujah.
How many times I got caught up right here? Anxious. I got anxious. Ready for it. I'm ready to get it now, man. Oh, man. And when you get anxious about something, you jump into it, you start getting worried about it. It doesn't run you too far. I done jump in this frying pan now. I got to go. Left God out of it. But see, if we put him into it, this is why we got to go him. If we don't, you're going to wind up, where are you headed? Now, this is what we got to go back to, and I ask you, where are you headed? Which direction you going? Because if you're going out of control of God, you're going in the wrong direction. And if somebody needs to tell you, slow up, turn around, and go right. Because if not, you're going to continue to go down this weary road. See, there is a narrow way. While the broad way, when we look at the broad way, is wide open and easy, that other person that can live that way, and you looking at that, it might look good, you think it's good. But let me tell you, when you live in that way, it's describe this in the sense of like, if you're doing with God what you do, it's like squeezing grapes, pressing you. That you don't have your way no more. Because God will hold you, and when he got you, well, things that you thought that you could do, you can't do them no more. It has been an idea of being taken in a position that, man, I got to do this. I got to just go straight. But when you going straight God's way, you will not worry. You will not sweat. And this is what you have to understand, because this is difficult. It is. I'm telling you, it's not. Because you used to doing you. Have you ever seen a baby kid? You ever seen a kid that got out of control? You been, boy, look at that little. Don't be pointing at me. You saw that little kid. You saw that little kid. Boy, you can't tell it nothing. But you looking at yourself when you ripping and running out there, going the way that you thinking you out of control. You that baby kid. That might be the reason we don't like baby kids. You looking at you. But you have to understand that when you doing this and getting out of control, that is that narrow way. On that narrow way, you cannot take all your sins. You can't take your sins on that narrow way. You can't go and do what you do on that narrow way. You can't do the thing that you don't got carried. If you try to find your way going through a situation when you are looking at that narrow way, you have to choose to go right. It's a narrow way. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't. You got to stay here. That's hard. I agree with you. I'll tell you, it's hard, but it's true. It's good. You will know where you gonna end up. You will know where your life gonna be. You will know where you headed. Because when you playing these games and run out here and somebody got this, or run over here and somebody got that, you will soon run out and into the world of destruction. Some people have made mistakes, the idea of how they want to live, putting themselves, obligating themselves to God, feel like, you know what, I can't do that. And a lot of times that's why people don't want to come to church, because they feel like it's obligations. They feel like there's too much control of me. But you can't look at that. Because what God will say, if you stay with him, you'll be blessed. He got your back. This is something that, in the truth, when we are walking that narrow way, we should expect a difficult time, because you got to understand that the flesh, that you can't allow yourself to get caught up in it. This ain't no good. You know what? If you had seen the bad of this here, you jump out of it. If you really saw how bad the skin that you in, how corrupted it is, it's bad. The only thing you got is a mind, a soul, and your conscience that can tell you what's good, what's bad, and which way to go. You got to choose which one of them you're going to take. You got to choose what is your desire to continue to do what's right in God's sight. Because if you don't, you can get caught up. How many of us say that you're saved, but yet you still walk in that broad way? You say you come to church, you say you praying, you still doing everything you say is right, but you're going over here. You're going to go over here. You're going to do this. You're going to do that, but you say you're saved. How many of us say that? And it says that if we're doing what we should do, if we're living for the Lord, that we ought to be able to keep and separate the honor of God and doing what God requires us to do and stand straight by Him. See, that's the hard part. Because you don't want nobody to tell you what to do. And you don't want nobody to come in your life. And see, if you can't come to church and get it, this ain't to pick on us. This is to make sure that we're doing the right way. Which way are you headed? Ask yourself that today. Which way are you headed? What is your life going today? If you die today, would you go to heaven or would you go to hell? Have you considered that? See, and that time is not on our side because we see people go every day. And you be saying that, well, it ain't my time. It might be tomorrow. You don't never know how close it is. And there ain't no time to straighten up. You can't be right there. Sometimes life can hit you just like a Mack truck. Bam! You out of there. You ain't had no time to change. What it tells us about one of the things that living for the Lord brings us in certain benefits, and you know what? That we can obtain and what we can notice in doing it. There's some facts in 1 Peter 1:16.
1 Peter 1:16 says, because it is written, you shall be holy, set apart, for I am holy.
That's what we should do. We should be holy. And that is part of being with God. Another thing it do, it brings us blessings and it brings us power. It brings us blessings when we're with God. It brings us, and again, a lot of times we look at God in our lives and don't even notice that God is there sometimes because sometimes just because things are going good, God blesses good people as well as He do bad. So this whole thing is kind of going your way. That don't mean you going the right way. That don't mean you living right. That don't mean you, because you got $1 million house, mean you serving God. How do you get it? Did you steal it? Did you rob? How did you get it? Because you drive a real nice car? How did you get that? That don't tell nobody how good you are but what you possess. Wealth don't honor you as being a part of God. How you living? Which way you going? This is something we ought to say. It's often and far better to live a life for every perspective of knowing who God is in your life. You can be looking at this, you can't put it up, but look at Hebrews 11:25. That's the one you don't have it on there, but look it up. And I just want you to see that this is something that we have to understand. Yeah, you did. Roll, girl.
Hebrews 11:25 says, because he preferred to endure the hardship of the people of God rather than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin.
That's hard. You know, one of the things, this is because of the preferred to endure the hardship of the people of God rather than to enjoy the passing the pleasures of sin. Yet and still, sometimes we rather. It was easy in my life at one time to say, hey, I'm going to run out there, run in the street, run around and see who I want to see, do what things I want to do, than to do what God wanted to do. Because when I was doing what I want to do, I wasn't looking at God. Wasn't looking at man. I was looking at me and what I want to do. But if we don't do that, this is what you got to give up sinful stuff. And if we don't make everybody in here old enough to understand what sin is. But do you practice it? Do you continue to do it? Nobody can say that it's easy, but it's only the way that honoring God and what He wanted us to do. And if we're going to honor God, it is the life that we ought to be blessed with. And that's what it's telling us. When we can be blessed with what God got. We can be blessed with what He gives us and what He gonna send us. Everybody's not gonna leave here wealthy in spirit and in grace of God, you will, if you serve Him. But what is wealth? What do you rather have, wealth or health? Health. Which is most important? Which is more important than what you can have today in your life? This is something you have to say. Which road are you walking today? Which road are you taking this morning? Which road are you? There are two possible directions in life I've been talking about. And there is something you have to understand right now. There is a place they call hell, and hell is real, as I can tell you. That's a place where it's discomfort. And some people say, we're living in hell. It is very bad here, but it ain't quite like hell. I'd rather be here than be in hell. And here is hell in a degree, but it ain't hell. Where it's always discomfort, where there's always, it's done how things prefer, because you ain't going to have it your way in hell. It ain't going to go the way you want it in hell. It ain't going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out. But yet and still, we will roll the dice right here, expecting something to come out of good. Expecting that it don't have to be that way. My friends, I tell you that this is something that a broad road that it ends in hell. If you live in a life that you think you can do what you want to do, that is where you will wind up in hell. And there's a choice that eventually that when you that seeing this and how it is, it'll allow me to give you that insight of it. It's a place where it is. I think you got Luke 16:24. This get us.
Luke 16:24 says, and he cried out, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus so that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, because I am in severe agony in this flame. Verse 25 says, and Abraham said, Son, remember that in your lifetime you received your good things, all the comforts and delights, and Lazarus likewise bad things, all the discomforts and distresses. And now he is comforted here in paradise while you are in severe agony.
See, what? Now look at that. Boy, you got it going on here looking all good. And you did rob, stole, and caught, and did everything you want. But that you thought it was good. And you thought some of that was hard with you. But it ain't nothing like going to hell. It ain't nothing like going to hell. The memories of remorse, unsatisfied, thirst that you go for. Look, all that is said right there. All that is in that very verses right there. Unspeakable pain, mercy, and things that you could cry for that you want in your life. Eternal separated from anything good. And yet and still we'll tell ourselves, no, I don't want that. No, I don't believe that. But yet and still we see friends and people dying every day. You never think about it could have been you. Or it will be you. Regardless of men think, hell is real, and every second that you lose your soul drops off from finding it in your heart and having the time to take out some time to even go to God. This is, we preparing ourselves for the day. We preparing ourselves, we come here today to see our Maker, to get a better understanding for what He is in your life. Opening up your mind and seeing what we can recognize and go for. Recognizing the things that's important to us. Look, but there's on the other side, there is a place called heaven. There is a place. And you know what? When we look at that, it's just as broad road, and there is that narrow way is also what we have to understand, that when we're looking at this, if we can work ourselves from being a part of all this wickedness and stay in the God, you got a place in heaven. Jesus has promised those that if we follow His way and do His way, these are the things that we can accomplish. These are the things that you have Romans 21:8. These are the things that we can endure, and this is what we have to understand. If we can grasp the glory of the sitting in the heavenly places, that what God tells us to do, where we will go, how we will wind up, we can consider that these things could be true in our life, and we can accomplish these things. That's where it's at. No more tears, no more pain. Ain't that good? No more sin, no more night. It's always day, it's always bright, it's always good. There's no more curse. It's no more any of the negative stuff that we endure here on this earth. We have to understand you don't have that. Well, this is something that we have to understand that's important in our lives. With God and Jesus, it's always the beauty. It's always a blessing. It's always something that we can thank God for. That narrow road, it might be more costly of two down here, and you know, how we looking at it. It could, that narrow, and I'm telling you, it's not gonna cost you money wise. It might cost you some of the things that you want to do, and that can bother you. But the narrowness of it, how this can be understood. So if we are walking in a bit out of step here, and so what we're looking at, it might be misunderstood to others, but it's understood to God. He understands everything that you're doing when you're walking on that narrow path. And you can always go to him. A lot of times, you might be caught up in a situation right now. You might say to yourself, well, I can't see my way. You don't have to see your way when God sees it for you. You don't have to see your way and God got your back. You don't have to see your way when you're looking, trying to get your way, and God already made your way. He made your way when he created you. He had you in mind when you was in your mother's womb. He knew what he had for plan for you. But you stepped out. You stepped to the left. You stepped to the right. You didn't go to him. And all you had to do was go to him. Ask him what you need, what you want. He's right there to give it for you. That is impossible. There is a way. There's a possible direction that you can take this morning that you don't have to worry about all the things that we get caught up with. There is a way. It's a way out of this stuff that we're looking at and thinking about. You can't make it. You can't see. There is a way. You might be looking at a situation in your life right now that you can't see your way. And it's a good place that you made it here today. Because God wants to say, I got you. I created you. And it was the way, your direction that you made yourself up in here this morning was the direction to let you know God got you. What led you here? That was the direction that you had in your mind. I must get here. I must come. I must serve God. I must see what God got. That's what he wants us to do. He wants us to search him. There are two possible destinies, nations that you can go. We got to make them. What is your destination today? What are you looking for? That is so important. That is a wide gate. And you can choose this gate. Enter into it. In reality, there is a real choice that either we enter into this gate, and when a person is born into this world, and like I said again, you know. Did I not give you Romans 3:23? When you enter into this world, you already know. You already.
Romans 3:23 says, since all have sinned and continually fall short of the glory of God.
You got to understand. We all have, and we have to understand. As a result, that is already a broad way. But yet it's still a little baby knows right and wrong. Yet it's still a little baby knows that you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But yet it's still, we do it. We still do what we should do. We still act like kids at grown-ups. 50, 60, 70-year-olds still acting like babies. But we shouldn't act like that. We should come to God. We should turn away from our wicked ways. But a lot of times, people don't want to find out what's right. They don't want to come to God. There's people that you see every day. There's people coming to church and just still don't want to do right. Still don't want to turn from their wicked ways. Still don't want to surrender themselves to God. Say, God, have your way. Rather than letting somebody come in their life and say, hey, I got this for you. I'll do this for you. What cost are you paying to do that? What cost is it going to cost for you to do that? Is it going to take your life? Is it going to take you? Is it going to send you to hell? Or is it going to send you to heaven? Every choice you got to decide what or not it is good for you or which one you're going to do. What are you going to do today? What are you going to do in your life today? What choices you going to make? From this point on, how will you determine the life you're going to live? Notice that Jesus said that many or more have found a way on the broad way, in the narrow way, but many, many more has spread it and determined and still will go to hell because they hadn't decided on making a choice. Make a choice today. We need to make that choice. We need to make that choice. It's important. This is a sad thing, but it really is sad about the whole thing that we have hold on to as man choose throughout this world to live, to make the choices and the roads that go down and the things that we do because we don't want to do right. We don't want to make a right choice. We don't want to do the right thing. Ignore the opportunities of plunging ahead, but just going straight to hell every day that you're making that choice. You know, when our life is set up like this, it's a balance. God is judging. He's looking at everything you're doing. But I'm telling you, you know what? Even at the last minute of your life, even at the last minute, one thing about it, if you are still alive, you still can be saved. That's the glory of it. That's the beauty of it. God is still giving you a chance if you're still alive. You got to make your mind up. How you want to live. How you want to take it out. How you want to go out. How you want to find yourself. How you want to see, because it's not too late as long as you got your eyes open. It's not too late. You got to understand it. There's a narrow gate which you would choose. While this gate is easy to be found, while this gate is in our lives, if you're alive, it's easy to be found today. It's easy. You have to choose the right way. You have to say in your own mind, Lord, do I want to go right? Do I want to do the right thing today? Do I want to take the right direction? Do I want to make a change in my life? Do we realize that when you choose to do what God wants you to do, how your life start changing? How the things that you're looking for, it is a gate that's open. It tells us in Romans 10 and 13. And we notice.
Romans 10:13 says, for whoever calls on the name of the Lord in prayer will be saved.
There's it. There's an easy way out right there. Whoever calls on him. And often in life, we all that who calls on him find him. That's what we find. And that's what we find. We find him if we go call on him. Even if it's right now. It ain't too late. If you're alive today, it ain't too late. If you're here today, it ain't too late because you're alive. Because that's something that you have to understand. Sometimes we don't recognize that. How long have God promised to heaven for those that come his way? How long? It's there forever. That promise is there for us if we come to it. John 14:6. It's there for us. If we choose to do it. If we choose, it is a small gate. And all we got to do.
John 14:6 says, Jesus said to him, I am the only way to God and the real truth and the real life. No one comes to the Father but through me.
That's what Jesus is telling us today. Jesus is telling us, hey, there's only one. And we got that gate. We're talking about all other gates, but there's only one gate you can go through. All the gates in this narrow gates in the narrow road. But Jesus said, through me. You can't go around me. You can't go under me, but you got to come through me. That's the only way you're going to get to God. The only way you're going to get to God. And when you come to him, you're going to find peace in that. You're going to find love in that. You're going to find an understanding in that. You're going to find all the things that you've been worried about bothering you. God will give you peace there. He will allow you to have this understanding. This is something, this reminds me that when we cannot find a way that we can find what God has for us. What it says in Luke 13:3.
Luke 13:3 says, I tell you, no, but unless you repent, change your old way of thinking, turn from your sinful ways, and live changed lives, you will all likewise perish.
Lord have mercy. That is so important right there. Turn from your wicked ways. The day we got a chance to turn. You're alive. You're here. Turn from your wicked ways. Repent. Repent means get away from what we've been doing. And I'm not saying that you're not doing, I'm not saying you're not doing your best. Because he's not mad at you because you're still here. But all you got to do is repent. Get away from what you've been doing. Your sinful ways. Change your life. And then, because if we stay in the same way we've been doing, we will perish. Perish means you just gonna die all off and go straight to hell. You are a fool. No one yourself can think or hang on to this worldly way and knowing that you got God just reaching his hand. We will be a fool if we keep on living the way we living and when God got his hand open for us. Come on in. Come. He waiting for us to come into it for him right now. He's waiting for us to that challenge. When you've been wondering which way I'm going to go. Have you ever woke up? I don't know which way I'm going to go in the morning. Man, I can't see my way. Have you seen God? It wasn't for you to see your way. But it's for you to see his way. Your way can't lead you nowhere. And no way. Not your way. You don't have no way. When did you create a world? When did you make something in there? So it's not your way. It's God's way. The only way is in him. The narrow way. And it requires that we lay down everything and simply go to Jesus alone. And that's the only thing that we can do is go to Jesus alone. Nothing else will bring it simplified. Nothing else we can do make it better for us. Nothing else on this earth is better than going to him. Nothing else. No matter what you're looking at, no matter how you try to figure it out, everybody trying to figure out something from day to day. Everybody trying to figure out which way to go. My thing is, even if I had to ask God even to come in to bring a message. Lord, what must I say? What is the people looking for? What do they want to hear? God said, let me have my way, and I can't even have my way up here. I got to let go and let God have his way. Let God tell y'all something, because I don't know. We all have to go to him and find out what is the right thing to do. My thing is for us this morning is to let go of this worldly way and turn our ways to God. Let God direct our path. Let God see the way for us because we don't know. I can't run down Tom, Dick, and Harry trying to find my way in this world because they don't know. There ain't nobody you can go to and they can tell you what tomorrow going to come to. They can tell you the forecast they're talking about rain. You don't know until you wake up and see. There ain't no guarantee it's going to happen. But we can trust God. We can trust God today. We thank God. We thank him for what he's done. We thank him for what he's doing. There's nothing else. Notice that Jesus said that we could be a few to find their way. A few. Everybody won't. But I'm telling you today, we know the way is through Jesus. A few will find it though. But I'm telling you, that is the way. Man is not the way. Man is not. And I said it earlier, as a crossroad, it is when we walk on the broad way, until you turn your eyes away from this wickedness of this world, you will not see God until you see him alone. Him alone can do what we need to be done in our lives. That's who we turn to. Seek God, not man. He is the way. What direction are you going today? What direction are you headed? If it's not with God, turn around because you're going the wrong way. That's my message. Amen. Praise God.